cause effect. Where there's the hurricane in North Carolina
Oh,
Again,
that's right.
again. This is the first
somebody
one for
call
the
the
year.
Amish.
This is the first one.
It's the first this year.
This is the first one of the year.
I forget because people still trying to recover from last year. Thank God for the Amish.
Yeah, Saint Helene. Yeah,
Oh,
it didn't went that west. Thank goodness. It went west of us, but not west enough to the mountains like destroy it like last time. 'Cause they don't need another. They don't need another rain.
oh yeah.
When we went there for our vacation. That was you see a lot of devastation for that place, man.
Yeah,
At least
everyone is in the mood.
it's not as bad as China.
Careful trip. You never know when they're hiding, especially with Elon Musk going nuts.
Yeah, you're right about that.
We are live right now. Hopefully everybody's all right. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy like one half Enduro, and I am here with the rest of the gang for you for Ncast. Long time we ain't doing one of these. Well, not long time, but a little bit for a while. So we have if
Long
we have,
enough.
yeah. Just start with some impressions and stuff like that. If you guys have any questions about the Switch 2, we have three people here who have a Switch 2. So if you want to ask questions, do it. I'm gonna do some situation little tests and stuff like that, so you guys can get it. And yeah, gaming is what it is. So we have Konoshi Bamanito. Konoshi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be here on another one of these casts.
All right. We got, of course, Triple M. Trip, what's going on?
Hey, it's been a long time coming, but I'm finally here. Let's get this show on the road with this discussion. It might be a glorious time or a really dreadful one, but hey, we're gonna do it in half.
Okay, before I do anything else, we, of course, Anderson, you're here.
Yep. How's everyone doing? Besides sweating.
Sweating, got you. And of course, Doc, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
go.
right,
What's going on with people?
Doctor Feelgood is here. So again, we're gonna just general talk at Ncast, but like I said, Kanoshi, me, and Addison have the Switch 2, and first impressions. I'll start off with you, Addison. What's your first impressions?
Well, it might just be an upgrade. But it's a hell of an upgrade. Don't get me started on the new Pro controller.
Well,
I'm glad
right
I
now.
Yeah. I'm glad that I bought a 4K TV for the Switch 2. And to think, it's not the PS5 that made me get a new TV.
I
It's
just gotta
this.
say that.
Goodness gracious!
Oh, that's too
I'm
funny.
enjoying it so far. You know, we just had 4th of July. I was kind of like about it. What I'm so excited for though is the 17th. I don't think I need to explain why.
Got you. But you enjoying your Switch? Anything that stands out other than for the console itself? What stands out to you?
I could have done that trick.
Well, that's kind of hard to answer if I can't talk about the console itself.
You can talk about the console.
I'm
No.
surprised how big.
Talk about anything, bro.
I'm surprised how bigger it is in handheld mode compared to the OLED. I'm glad
You know what?
that so far of the games have been able to transfer over, that the save data in the cloud is intact. Although I'm doing it slowly, I'm still not sure if I want to, transfer everything I played on the Switch 1 over to Switch 2 just yet. Mainly, it's just been the games that have free updates for Switch 2.
Got you. All right.
It's a good thing Sprite isn't here because he would have said something about the size.
Yes, his usual pain in the ass way. All right, Kanoshi, what about you? What your first? What you got to say about it?
Um, I don't know about everybody else, but it definitely got a lot of what I wanted out of it. Uh,
You don't say.
yeah, a lot of improvements to, of course, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and also Mario Kart World is like essentially every track's just like Wario Mount. Is it Wario Mountain, where it's like
DK
just a
Mountain.
continuous, or DK Mountain, where it's
Jocko
just like a,
Mountain.
And well, I thought well, you got a bunch of mountains. You are correct.
the Wario level. There's
Oh, you mean
also
the one with the ice? Yeah, yes,
yeah,
yes.
where it's
Mario
just
You're
a
right.
Stadium?
continuous.
No.
It's not.
He's talking about Warrior. I know you're talking about now. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, it's not a loop. It's just a continuous track.
Because they just track
Every track's that way.
from the helicopter. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like so that's great. I know people were upset that Nintendo took they wanted to play normal Mario Kart. These are the same
Well, they
people
can
that
play Mario Kart
complain.
8 Deluxe on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same people that complain about Nintendo not being different. And
Yep.
Yeah,
then
man.
they complain when Nintendo, makes something different.
Yep.
And then they complain if they make something the same. You can't win. You can't win.
Got you, but
Yeah, you can't make this up.
got you. But initially, though, you're enjoying the console as it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a man who has just like me has a PC. Have a PC, and then we have oh crap. Have PC and have Steam Deck and all that stuff, and just enjoying what it is. All right, so for me, like I said, I have a impression video coming up. Me and Katie, we got a impression video. We have that, but initial, I like the brighter screen. I like the brighter screen. I like the bigger screen as well too. Um, they did a good job on the
Joy-Cons.
The Joy-Cons so far, so good. Like I said before, I don't think the Joy-Con drift is as widespread as yet. As yet, I think
Yes.
people just rage bait.
Jumping the wagon.
Nah, they're just using that so they could say negative things about Nintendo. That's all. They rage, just like you got clickbaiting, you got rage baiting. That's what they do. They just want to oh, everybody hates Nintendo, so let me make content about it. I mean, look at the last couple of videos I put on my channel. Like I've disproved a lot of people. Even the video I did where the guy said Nintendo lost his magic, and I did nothing. I don't send people to harass nobody, but he took down his video.
Oh, that's the. Oh
He
my
took down
God.
his video because somebody in the comments like, "Hey, did he took down his video?" And I went go look because I had a link for it. I'm like, "Nope, the link is not there no more. It's gone." I was like,
Wait.
"Dang."
Is it the video? Is the two-part video?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No,
Yeah.
what you no,
Oh well.
you can't make this
Hey,
up.
that's the grift these days. Somebody showed me an actual graph showing there actually is a market strictly for anti-Nintendo content. There's barely any for anybody else, really.
Yeah. It's sad
You know
that
what,
that's the situation, but I didn't mean to. Like I said, and I don't think it's just people. Okay, I don't send people to harass nobody. That's not my thing. I made it perfectly clear when I was doing a video against Amber. I said, do not harass her. She might got a bad take, but don't harass the woman. But I didn't tell her what to harass to do.
I don't think
That video's gone. I was like, dang.
Man, nah, this just
I
makes
don't think it had anything to do with that. I think
Yeah.
he just put it there, got some rage bait, and then took it down.
But you know what? It kind of makes him look like a wuss.
Basically. 'Cause he said in the video,
Onto YouTube.
he said, I'm not looking in it. He knows what this video is going to get. I'm not going to look in the comment section. Yeah, well, that's what I do most of the time if I feel whatever. Because I'm not playing games with people. If I'm wrong, I gladly say I'm wrong. But, and again, I never argue his preference. It's just some of the stuff he said did not make logical sense. He literally,
factual.
he just logically beat himself up in like even in his own video he beat himself up. So, oh well. But yes, that's that's what we got right there. So the Switch, like I said, that is good. I said
Oh
like
wow.
I got a TV that's 4K, so yeah, it shows up on my screen very good. Nintendo did a real good job on that. It's basically what I expected from the Nintendo Switch. I did say they could do 4K. I mean, the only thing I was wrong on, I said 4K. I thought it could do 4040p, but it did 4K, which is good. And you can do 4040p if you have a screen that way. If you go down here, I think in a section, system section, is and then it's gonna glitch out because of the thing. Let me see, where is it?
But,
Display.
uh, even in the small screen that I have right now, it looks beautiful.
Yeah. So my screen, my television doesn't support 1440p. You go straight up to 4K. But you can if you have a 4040T monitor or something like that, you could put that in there and play if you want. So right now, 60 hertz, whatever. Now you can go up to 120 hertz, everything copy, blah blah blah. So yeah,
You know
just
what?
saying.
Yeah. You know what? What actually surprised me? Me looking from the outside in,
Uh,
that even though I'm playing on the Switch, and then the notification popped up on my end say telling me that Liger is playing Mario Kart World, and I'm like, wait, that's a Switch 2 title.
yep.
How did it how did it notify me when I got I don't have a Switch 2, but it still notified me about that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay,
I mean, it's the user interface is not that different.
different.
Let's say
And
it's its own ecosystem.
Yep. Yes, it is.
I mean,
Uh.
I'm pretty soon we're gonna get a game that'll let people who have the Switch One play it on their system in a roundabout way.
Yep.
I would say more like it was streamed like uh, what I saw of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Sorry,
Exactly.
I stole your thunder about that. Double A.
No, you gotta say that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Um, since I know you're waiting to get yours, Doc. What you've heard from since you're one of the Trip, you're one of the outside guides.
Um,
Besides, you know that it causes cancer and all that.
Stop it.
Oh gosh.
I hadn't heard any of that. Like honestly, I try not to even um click on anything or read into anything upon the launch, because what you mostly see is either fake overhyped people or people spreading fake news. And so I typically try to avoid them both in the beginning. So I hadn't clicked on anything, but what did come across my news feed recently and was a
But
whole bunch of
you
bitching and whining about the screen, I guess the screen
This
refresh
screen
oh
is
rate or
slow,
something.
which is stupid. That's a stupid argument. I don't even understand why. They'll find anything to make an argument. The screen is slower than Switch
Now,
One. Who cares?
exactly. Now, like I said, I didn't read too much into it. I didn't read the article. I just saw, I saw the article pop up, and then of course it shows like two people. I think it was on actually X or whatever. And I saw the first two comments because they were just there, and my whole thing was it surprised me when I heard they went to a quote unquote LCD and not a LED or whatever, or kept with the OLED. I said, but I also can understand why, because LCD is old, tried and true. They pretty much have mastered it. And probably I'm also sure because of cost. But if you don't like it, you can do like you did the original Switch. Wait until there's an OLED model. I'm sure there's going to be one.
Yeah, there will
But
be.
I refuse to believe that this screen is so god awful
No,
that
it ain't.
Because you know what they were saying initially when it came to the Switch or whatever, that oh my gosh, playing games on on mobile mode, on handheld mode, the screen looks like someone rubbed baby oil on. I'm thinking it does not look that bad. Stop
It's
playing,
not
people.
the Diddy
Like
screen.
y'all make it seem like y'all.
He said that
Not the Diddy screen.
And I remember Jamie Butterworth made a comment. This is years ago. This is years ago. He made a comment when they were talking about that, saying Mario Kart 8 in 720p looks like stick figures, and Mario Kart 8 in this looks so much. I said, look, people, listen, it's never that bad. Now, do y'all want the best of the best of the best? Yes, but let's be real. 720p is not a bad screen to look at. In fact, still a lot of broadcast television is in 720p, and there's still some channels not in HD at all. So shut up. But when I saw it, I said, so y'all got a 4K screen, and now you talk about the refresh rate. I don't get it. Like, pick a battle. So let's say Nintendo would have said, okay, now the screen's 1080p, and we got a high refresh rate. You would be complaining it's not 4K, and then y'all would have been like, I hate to say names, but Juice them back in the day, give us this. I give us this, Nintendo. I'd rather have that than this, and then they give you that, and they say, well, why couldn't you do it all at once? Wait a minute. Didn't you say that you be willing to pay for Miiverse or pay for Nintendo Switch Online, and then they started charging for it, and then you complain, but you said out loud that if you give us this, I'll pay you for it. I'll pay $50. Nintendo said 20. Why are you charging for this no voice chat? That's why they charge you 20. So I can see people now saying, you know what? I'll take 4K 30, Nintendo. I'll take 4K 30. Here's 4K 60, but it's an LCD screen, so no, I don't want that.
The thing is, if we had an OLED screen, like if they gave us everything, console would be like $550, and people would be bitching and saying, "Nah, it's too much money." Yep. And then they'll still go out and buy it. They'll still sell 6 million consoles.
And you know what some people will say. I'm sure it's going to appear online. Cell phones have had high resolution screen. I said, but the cell phone in your pocket costs $1,000. So do you think can your cell phone in your pocket play Mario Kart World? Does it, first you got to buy and attach it for it so you can use a physical controller.
Be careful. You know people are gonna say yes because of emulation.
See
I'm just simply saying that to me, the complaints would never stop, so I just stopped caring. At that point, when I saw that and them trying to show videos, I just said, people, as long as your games play, and Nintendo proved this to themselves with the Switch, y'all
even
kept
the Wii
saying
U.
that thing was underpowered from the jump. Even us Wii U lovers felt that it was not better than the Wii U. But yet it's sold like hotcakes because you know what matters? It's the games.
Is Mario Kart on it?
Now, Doc.
There you go, Konoshi.
Now, Doc. I'm going to give you the linchpin of how they discovered the low air quotation refresh rate.
No. That is not the refresh rate. That is not the refresh rate they're talking about.
Poor choice of words. Well, the only way they could have found out about it is they had to film the Switch 2 off screen and actually slow down the
slow down the video.
Basically, that to slow down the video.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's see what they're trying to do, which is stupid. It's dumb. It ain't a refresh rate because the refresh is the refresh rate is already done setting the screen, so it's not the refresh rate. They're just talking about the response time, which is they're talking about milliseconds. It's 12 milliseconds. Again, for when I press on the screen and it happens instantly on my controller, that's fast enough for me. I'm good. And then you comparing it, and here's the thing that killed me about it. You're comparing it not to. You're not comparing. Okay, it's like I said. It's a video that's coming out. I said it in the video, which irks me. Y'all never talked about this with the 3DS. Y'all never thought this about a PlayStation Vita. Now you're talking about shit like this, like the response rate for the screen.
Yeah, that doesn't make any. Yeah.
Well, back then
Well,
handhelds.
the market of YouTube drifting is open now for that, so that's what people are doing. It.
Basically,
Back
go
then there wasn't.
yeah, go Trip. You say something? You gonna say?
Yeah, I was just saying because back then handhelds weren't a thing, even though
Well, no, there
PlayStation-
was the thing, but people didn't care because they were just happy to play the game mobile. That's all they
No,
cared.
no, I,
No,
yeah,
but
no,
you-
I meant as the gaming media didn't hold handheld in a high regard until
Okay.
the Steam
But
Deck
here's-
came out.
But here's the issue with this.
No,
and
actually-
I'm a numbers guy. So people, you do realize that when you blink your eye, it takes more than 50 milliseconds, right? It takes actually more than 50 milliseconds to blink your eye once as fast as you can. So a response time of 12 milliseconds, that means you're still getting a response time faster than you can blink your goddamn eye. How much faster do you need something to respond to make that much difference in any game you're playing that you can tell that if it would have responded faster, you would have won?
It's not about gaming, Doc. It's just about something to cry about to make a video on YouTube to bring in the clicks. So You
Yeah.
don't have to get a real job and make money.
Now keep in mind,
And I said-
so what you said,
keep in
you know what
mind
I'm saying?
that people, this
Brett.
is for everyone. Everyone leave?
No, we here.
No, we're still here.
No,
We're
we're
still
here.
No, but
We're just waiting for you to finish.
but if you think about a millisecond, there's 1,000 of them in a second.
Yeah.
So 12 milliseconds. You do realize, people, if you do the math, that's basically less. That's about 100 of a second, basically. Like that. If you really, that's pretty damn fast. That's pretty fast.
hmm
If you, I mean, I don't see the complaint. I really don't. And you know what else is funny? Now, their issue may be about being in handheld mode, but I also think that you do know most televisions don't even support
No.
a response time that fast. My TV does. You got to buy like a mid-tier to high-tier television and plug your game console up
Well-
using the specified HDMI to even get that fast response time.
Well, the thing.
They got
is,
they got that money to spend.
well, the problem is though when people was talking about this video, this situation that's going on right now, they are using it towards PC monitors. Like, yeah, okay, wow. So if you think about it, you're taking a switch. Here's how stupid the argument is. You're comparing a switch screen, handheld mode, to a monitor. I said the monitors are faster.
And that monitor probably costs $500.
But Doc, here's the thing though. If that's the case, why don't you just hook up your freaking switch to the monitor and you get the same speed? It makes no sense. It's just so stupid to make that argument.
But Liger, now there's no video to make.
It literally is just it's dick measuring. It's just literally dick measuring. If you think the monitor's faster, connect to the monitor.
Because that's what I do. Like with my OLED LG television, it has a fast, I think like 1 millisecond or something like that response time mode. So I just use that mode when I'm playing specific games. That's like you said. That's all you got to do. If your monitor or TV is faster, plug your damn console into that. You guys are wanting your PC experience on the go. Now I have to. I don't want to start no fights, but I want to ask these other handheld, quote unquote, gaming devices out there, like the Steam Deck. What's their response time?
Less than that. It was less than the Steam Deck is slower than the Switch 2. But nobody's because when you add that into it, people don't care. That's what I said. It's stupid to even make the damn argument.
So if the Steam Deck is slower, Then why is and it costs more? Then why is the Switch getting so much flack?
because it's Nintendo.
Because
And
that's
we
the
all
grift.
that's yeah,
Because
honestly.
Nintendo. That's it. No, because Nintendo. That's it.
Huh,
That's it.
You are correct.
They cannot do anything right even when they're winning.
yep, that's true.
Hey, welcome, Fluid.
That's true. So that's why I laugh at that. So that's what you talked about. Okay, it's all good, Doc. I just you're right, and it's just weird. Again, you don't even have the console. You could see the fallacy in some of these gamers stuff. Logic, just so
Oh,
stupid.
Quote unquote gamers.
Yeah, I
They
know,
play
I
YouTube
know.
more than games.
That is true. That is so true. That is so true.
ooh, missed it.
Yep, I'm just like I said, I'm just playing around because of the thing. But speaking of that, before we get into so Doc, that's what Doc said. Let me get one more impression. I have it right in my hand right now. Okay, I said it in a video and I'll say it here. If there's any accessory to buy for the Switch other than a gaming case and a screen and protective screen, which makes sense. If you play the game half and half, like I said, if you play straight monitor, if you play on mobile all the time, then don't get this. But if you play full screen TV like I'm doing right now, the Pro controller is worth the price. Get it now before it goes up in price you know in case
Super demand.
because of people saying stuff. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what magical juju Nintendo did to get this Pro controller, but this is the
Be so
best.
smooth.
This is the best controller I have ever put my hands on now. Literally, it feels
Doc,
comfortable. It doesn't like even if you got sweaty palms, it does because of the rubberized plastic. It doesn't really sweat up the game and stuff. The way they place the ZL and the GR and GR buttons, like it's tucked in enough that it don't feel like a button's there. But you know there's a button there. It's like and the sticks. The sticks is just oh my goodness. What they did to this
Doc,
controller is that.
let me help you. Let me help sell the controller further to you. It feels like a good woman.
Oh,
oh Lord.
no, more like it feels like the perfect woman.
Oh God. He's a good woman. Okay, I ain't gonna even I can't argue with that. That's this Anderson. But for real though, Anderson, like for you got a controller. What do you think, Anderson, from your using it?
Pretty woman.
Yeah, you,
Okay,
at
I
first
do.
you wouldn't think there would be much of a difference from the Switch One Pro controller to this one until you actually use it. I was like, what happened here? Why does it feel so different? Does it feel better? And I thought the Switch One controller and the Wii U controller were pretty good. This is the next level. Did they add more plastic? Did they add more bits and bobs here? Did they use some kind of different material so that it feels better in the grip and when you're pushing the buttons and moving the sticks? Whatever they did, well, they
Who's that?
succeeded. I won't be surprised if it's patented or something.
Manta Ray.
Oh,
Yeah, they like I said, even the buttons, which I noticed that just tonight, I noticed that the buttons, the buttons have a rubber coating on it, so that rubberized plastic. So I don't know who in the hey Nintendo R&D, whoever you were, yeah, I'm shout outs to you, man. Shout outs to you for making this controller. You deserve a raise.
hold on, Fluid. That's not a fair comparison. One is just a normal one, and the other one is a special edition. Let them be the same. Just to be fair,
Got you.
but I know where you're going for with this, Fluid. But let's make it a bit more fair.
Yeah. What about you, Konoshi? You got it. So what do you think?
I think it's a really good controller as well. I think it's
Do you use it for your Steam collection?
uh it doesn't have drivers for PC yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
which makes sense because it's just brand new, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah. But what about no? But for you, like you said, so what makes you? 'Cause I remember I said it. You like you really think? I remember you told me like you really think this thing feels good. I'm like I'm telling you, and then you got it. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's really quiet. Like it's not. You know how people complain about people using controllers online and stuff in the night. Like,
You're right. My controller's right beside my mic right now. You are, and I'm clicking buttons. You ain't hearing nothing.
I can barely hear it. Like it's really far.
So, but the buttons that. But like I said, I'm just amazed on what they did with this controller. Like it really is. It feels good in my hand. It is a good controller. Like oh my goodness. And of course, it has 20-hour battery.
Wow. Same battery as the Switch controller, Pro
Um,
controller.
yep. I am not you. And don't worry, I'll get to. I mean, I'll use the chat feature with the guys so we can figure it out. That's another topic I want to jump into quickly. It's funny. Everybody shit on Nintendo's chat feature, but I'll say this, and
The
I mean
slide.
this.
Call it a slideshow chat.
Whatever. My point is this though. Cause they were like, oh, you can do Discord and stuff like that. And I never say you can't do it for Discord. Don't get me wrong. That's all right. But I'll say this.
Are these the same people who were crying about no voice chat for Splatoon?
The
No,
And
Splatoon
we
no,
on the
no,
don't.
no,
Wii U.
no. It's the same people. I'm just talking about in general right now. I'm talking about people was saying that the Switch 2 chat was bad. Looked bad because the speed or whatever. Again, as Konoshi said too, you try that on Discord. It's the same speed. It depends on your connection.
yeah,
It depends on your connection.
All right, let's ride.
And here's the thing. Everybody who has done video, just talk about it. Nobody has got a video say it's a bad. It sound bad. Nobody's done. It's not. And it's not. As much as they talk about the terror expensive, blah blah blah, they have not gone crazy and said the switch to chat is bad. Some people say it's better than Discord. Imagine that.
Sound quality. Sound quality is that good? Get out of town.
You know, Nintendo really did their research before, which most of the time, this is not. I'll be 100%. This is not all the time. Nintendo doesn't. This doesn't happen all the time for Nintendo. But when they do something later than anybody else, it does come out way better.
Yep.
Because again, the Pro Controller now could do voice chat and everything. You can plug it in. It has aux jack. I mean, the audio jack, and it still lasts. The battery life is still strong in this thing. Xbox controller, which a lot of people like the Xbox controller as a standard, that one still uses AA batteries. Which I'm not against it, but I'm just saying it's just like
Hey, at least you can replace those batteries.
at least that, yeah, it's friendly. So you got that. So Kanoshi said that. Madison said that. The, the Switch 2 controller is something I think you guys should. Yes. I don't know. I would like to see what they do special editions to the controllers to see what if they're gonna do the colors on the controllers. But I am happy with
Oh
my
my
choice.
gosh.
I'm happy with my choice right here buying this day one.
Probably a Smash controller or
I
some
think a
kind of
Metro.
character controller.
I think a Metroid one might come out. Might I say might?
Or even
Imagine a see-through controller.
Well,
I would say
that
a
will happen.
banana.
But
I
that's
would say
one.
a banana colored controller for Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Bonanza. Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna do that this early, but we'll see. But again, if anybody I can sell anybody on it, the only thing I'll tell you is a must-have for your Switch 2, other than the necessities. And I say must-have, and I say you have to buy it. But the Switch 2 controller, I don't know, they did a good job on that. Thank you, Nintendo. Okay, I'll change the character. Oh, I got Daisy.
Oh, there's Pauline.
You know what? You're right. Do I have Pauline? I don't think I have Pauline yet.
Nope, you don't. Nope, nope. You don't have a.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do.
I would say the negative thing about this too. I would say negative, and it's not nearly. It doesn't bother me, but I understand what people are saying. I think
Oh,
Nintendo might.
dishes.
I think Nintendo might patch it later on. That's my guess. That you could just pick one character and then you switch all the costumes instead of having like a big roster like that. I think they could. I think they could fix that.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's not. Sounds like. Sounds like at least the character screen has been rushed.
Yeah. But I'll take a rush character screen for a good game. For a good game. That's for sure. I like
No,
it.
no, no,
It
no,
does
no.
not be petty.
You should rephrase it. You would take. You would take a game that has a rush aspect that still came out well done.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. How the hell? Some of these coins are in the most weird spots. Jeez, you gotta like swear you gotta do some crazy stuff.
Ooh, the crazy things people
Oh
have been
yeah.
doing in this game.
Yep, that is true.
I wish I could get to that level.
I'm not there either, Anderson. You're correct about that.
It does not sound petty, but I kind of wish there were more costumes. Maybe later on.
Maybe later on, yeah. I mean,
They
the game
gave
just came out.
At least for Donkey Kong and Pauline, they're the ones who has the least.
I think they might
only
have.
two.
I think they might do a young Pauline. If I have to be understandable, I think they will do a young Pauline.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Trip. Pauline in the mobile Mario Kart World Tour, she had a cowgirl costume. She also had a New Year's costume where the top of the dress was kind of like a glittery disco ball, and, gloves and everything and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
a few others.
I did see the cowgirl costume of hers.
Yeah, and they gave Princess Peach the yukata, the kimono, but not to Daisy and I think Rosalina. They also had it, and they also had what they call it, the happy costume that Mario and Luigi got. Well, Princess Peach and I think Daisy, they also had that, but not in this game. And some more costumes like Mario had like a Shogun outfit complete with a Kabuto. That's not in there.
Yep.
Right.
And even the characters like Goomba, they gave Koopa, Troopa, and Lakitu some costumes, but not any to the Goombas or the Pokies or anything like that. I'm like, for the yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
for the world that's pretty much sweets in the sky. I forgot the name of that level. Like, I'm pretty sure they could have made some kind of costume. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they could have made a costume for Goomba that makes him look like a cupcake. Give him some pants and put like whipped cream and a cherry on top of him, and voila. But yeah, we'll
Right.
see. This game is still like fairly new. Maybe they'll add more with time, but whether that's going to be paid or not, we'll see.
Right. I'm guessing that the discrepancy between the Koopa and the other enemies is because, well, the Koopa Trooper was in the Mario Kart since its inception, so he gets a pass.
Again, we'll see what happens. Overall, I'm enjoying the game. People are just complaining about it at this point just to H farm.
All right.
And I would say I would just be satisfied with what I have and than what I don't have.
Exactly. All right. So let's get to one of the topics that's major before we, one of the major topics, which is, all right. Early this week, I did a video. The video was, again, I'm not an evil person. I want competition. It might not be for me, but I like other people. I'm not a jerk to say people need to, have
Need to
games that
suffer
yeah
for me to have some fun.
yeah. I would say that, but I mean, you play games, whatever.
That's awesome.
So I said, okay, I hope the next generation Xbox, wish them the best to find out what as SpongeBob Mingo, 24 hours later, they basically canceled some of the games that I'm looking for, shut down studios and everything.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that ironic?
Ironic is the word. You're correct about that trip. Is ironic. So
Uh,
crazy.
is it? Is it you bought all these studios
And
only to
then you
close
kill
them
them.
down?
That's why I said in the video they are the EA of consoles. They're the EA of consoles now. Oh,
Unfortunately,
because
they are Unicron Junior.
Unicorn Junior or Galactic Junior, Galactus. Just like why?
Because they can. Because
It's
Is that
like
Dragon Ball Super character or villain that eats planets?
huh?
The Dragon Ball Super
Oh, you mean from the
character.
manga?
Yeah, from the
Moral?
manga. Moro, yeah. That's who they're becoming.
I mean, you literally the thing about it, and I said it from 2000. From then, I was like, you literally um took all those consoles. I said, you buy all these gaming studios. I hope you're doing something with them. And they barely did anything with them. And then the studios that are successful, you shut them down. So
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
yeah, and you
Very
create,
hard.
and then you create this quadruple A, whatever the frig that is, quadruple A
Made up.
game story, yeah, called interactive, and then you shut them down. You started them in 2018, and then you shut them down. What sense did that make?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Bill Gates, since he's not getting his way, he decided to punish us by robbing us of fun.
I don't think that. I mean, as I told Trip, back on there's a video I did called my WTF series. On my WTF series, there's a video. Literally, the second video in the WTF series, it says,
Yep.
I said, from then, Microsoft don't care for having an Xbox system. They wanted to make it a service.
Yeah.
Software.
They want
Like
software.
it's like
What
it's like
software?
like the pirate parent company. Oh my gosh. Can't mince my words there.
That's what they wanted. They wanted software. Because again, look what it is. I mean, here's another contradiction. Yes, Nintendo did not reveal the Switch 2 prices, and people's like, oh, that's bad. Did anybody know the price of the ROG Rogue for Xbox?
Nope.
Crickets. Because I don't know, and I was looking, still looking.
But have you seen the multiple videos of, well, the Xbox didn't put out, they're anti-consumer, they didn't put out no prices for the Xbox roll. I mean, for the Ally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's right. I haven't seen any videos of that.
That ain't the grift.
He said that ain't interesting.
No. You have to rephrase that. It's too much of a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, you don't get views for bitching about Microsoft or Sony. You get views for bitching about Nintendo though.
Yep.
Yep.
Follow the
Well, I
algorithm.
mean, let's be honest. Microsoft for into gaming has been very sketchy. They bought Rare, although gaming historians say, well, it was Nintendo who sold them to them. And what did they do with Rare?
Oh.
Or anybody remember Scalebound?
Yep, I remember
That
Scale Down.
community
I
Oh, I
made a
played
remember
it.
game.
Scalebound.
Funny enough, I'm the only person who ever most few people played it, and it played when I was in Japan. I played it at platinum, and I was pissed off that even that, and then again that Sony, the Xbox had, and they effed it over.
Yep. And we already mentioned, Tango Gameworks. They made Hi-Fi Rush, amazing game, and yet they gave them the X. That's something gaming YouTubers won't really discuss. Maybe just a select few. All these studios getting bought out only to be
Good.
shut down or dying in
Oh,
droves.
surviving, sir.
Because he's bobbing and weaving.
He is bobbing and weaving.
Manage decline.
You said
Xbox is
Kuroshi?
going. Xbox is going through a managed decline. This is what.
They are.
But I wouldn't even say that it's more like a manufactured manic decline. Because you would
Pretty
think
much.
that, yeah, because you would think that they literally came out with a statement that they made money. Looks
Yeah.
like everything was going up and up,
Yep.
and yet
Well,
you
try
had
to,
to do
by
that.
now you should know not to trust just mere words.
No, they made
Or
money.
the hangman for
No, they made money. The problem is though, it's at a cost of destroying stuff. That's all it is. They said that this said last year. They said this year going finishing right now is the best year Xbox ever made. I'm like, okay, why? Because they sold more services. They got you on there. Like I said, I'm not against people who like Xbox Live. I mean, the Xbox Game Pass. That y'all want it, that's good. But the same people who said that cannot say, oh well, Nintendo's not you don't own your games. You cannot say that. You just can't. Because on Xbox Live,
They will.
Xbox Game Pass, you don't own your games either.
Yeah, you're just renting them. You
Yep.
don't own it, and you will still be happy.
own nothing and like it.
Yep. That is true.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, Liger. Now, even though people are saying that it's all Phil Spencer's fault, but I wouldn't say it's all Phil's fault. Like Jay from Winging It Podcast, shameless plug for him, that he basically argued that it's more likely that it's the higher ups that are basically tying Phil's hands. But
Yes, but Phil, like I said, yeah, people got scammed by Phil. That's what I said before. Y'all hated that not the dollar. What's the guy again?
Don Matrick, Don
Matrick.
Merrick.
The Don Matrick told y'all the truth. Y'all hated that Don Matrick told y'all the truth. That if you don't want this, online is gonna be the future. And if you don't, y'all hated that. Now,
We're
what's
there.
going on?
you guys are
Yeah.
loving it.
Hmm. Oh crap! What the heck?
Now, I would say, to be fair, it seems like the blame could go all around, because after all that has transpired, it really makes Phil look like Harvey Two-Face.
So all I can see right
Just-
now,
Hey,
Phil.
At the end of the day, man, I think Microsoft, and this is not even about the current Xbox Live or the service or console. To me, they started out right.
Yeah.
They basically pulled a Sega. You came in and you knew you had to make a good console. You knew you had to differentiate yourself, but you also knew you had to get the third parties on deck.
Yeah.
Okay, you did good with that. But then you started doing something that you should not have done, that Sony was known for doing, and you
Money
tried to
adding.
follow Sony. You started money having third parties. And my thing is, if I'm a third party, I'm gonna start charging more and more every couple of years, because you need my titles, because you know your main competitor, who you didn't have, like Nintendo, you didn't have to even call Sony your competitor. You could have just stayed in your green ass lane. You could have said, hey, we got Xbox Live. Hey, we got a DVR in our console. Hey, we also play DVDs like those guys over there. Guess what? The next console they play Blu-rays, we're gonna stick with HD DVD because it's cheaper, same quality, same tech. We're gonna do our thing over here. You can go ahead and use your pocketbook to get them. We can use our pocketbook to get some of them over here, but we're gonna also make our own games. Because to me, games such as Halo, and who remembers, Blinks the Time Cat, like
Oh,
to me, they started out right, but then they took the easy route of, well, we're Microsoft, we're billionaires, so let's just go ahead and buy our games. But what happens when those third parties are only loyal to the bigger pocketbook? You start spending more money than you're bringing in. So now you're paying Activision how many billions of dollars a year to have their game on your console. You only take home what, $12 out of the 60 that you got for the game. That's your licensing fee, basically. And then you're also paying to get the content 1 month early. You're paying millions of dollars for that. And you're still not the best selling, or you're just barely selling better. You should have cut that immediately, because even after you won that generation, which is a 7th generation technically, all your fans bounce right back onto the other side once they realized that Call of Duty had a better contract with who? Sony. So your fans weren't loyal to you, they were loyal to the game. So make your own damn games. That why you think people on the PC hate and other consoles hate Nintendo so much, because they always want their games on their console. Why?
That's
You
true.
can't play them any goddamn where else.
That is true.
That's
Legally.
how you move your consoles. You have to
Well,
have
Doc,
a
tell that
product.
to Rare.
I know you have to have a product that they cannot get anywhere else unless it's illegal. And most your everyday person does not know how to do this and will have fun trying to run it illegally. So you started out right. Even the DVR thing, although I can see the bad sides of it, I also saw the good things about it. We didn't have to buy memory cards anymore. That was a huge plus. And remember the OG Xbox creating your own soundtracks?
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah, I've heard
those
that.
features, I used to play games and have my own music in the background on most of the games that supported that. That was a cool feature. And then y'all just fell in line with the rest of them. Stop it. You could have really made Sony kind of like hate you for coming in so quickly and dominating. But after you won, you just kind of started doing the same thing. Shooter. Mature title, and now here we are. But you had a chance to do what Sega did, which is disrupt the industry.
Yep.
I think every one of us
Funny.
here can thank Sega for what they did, because they did indeed disrupt the industry. We would have not, like, can you imagine Nintendo didn't have any competition? Games would be $400.
That people were
Probably
saying they wanted Microsoft to buy out Sega. Well, now those people are saying, "Oh no, please don't do that."
I just think Microsoft, like you say, I agree with Liger. They came in wanting to do a lot, like do services. And I get you went through the back door to do gaming that way with a console, but even still, you had a great product. And I still have my OG Xbox One, and I still have that. Even the Xbox 360, y'all made a great product. Kind of rocky with the red ring of death, but a great product. When y'all start following Sony's trend of just more power, and no new features, it's just kind of like, okay, so you're just doing what they're doing. So now it came down to, is the game better on PlayStation or Xbox? PlayStation?
Well,
For
Doug,
Xbox.
well, Doug, to be fair, I think they were just
All
trying to
right.
appeal to the lowest common denominator.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I just think that that's why they're losing, because you were playing a race according to Sony's play card, and they're the best at it. Because what's one thing Sony's really good at, and Nintendo had to learn the hard way. Sony's is like Apple; they're really good at advertising, aka lying their ass off.
Oh, not always, the doc. Not always. No problem for that.
Anyway, I get my thing is this though. It's just like okay, the game. These guys have literally, literally. I mean, wasted the situation. Damn, of course.
Potential.
Yeah, Xbox had the potential. They did, and they wasted.
You know what? Jumping on that question. This is what Jay brought up. Would it be better if Activision's ZeniMax Studios and all these other studios, would it be better if they got bought by another corporation besides Microsoft? Like, for example, Tencent.
No,
I don't think
I
so.
don't think it really make that too much of a difference, honestly. By this point,
It would make a difference to me. I mean, I know it's not always meant to be this way, but I've always said, for example, when it came to the Wii U and the Switch, and Switch is getting all these remakes, I said, Activision, Nintendo, just give them a classic bundle. Give me a Call of Duty Black Ops bundle with all 3 or 4 Black Ops games together as one. And give me a Modern Warfare bundle. I don't even want the new games. I don't want them. Give me those old ones from the 7th gen. Like, give me those, and make everything online and sew them all together and all the maps, and that's it. I said I will take that. See, to me, companies like that, I would love to say they do better in Nintendo hands, which they probably would. But at the same time, they don't want to see Nintendo win. They don't.
Well,
If you're unwilling to even work with a console manufacturer, 'cause I've been saying this for the better part of 15 years, and I wish Microsoft and Sony would have had the same outlook. Listen, I understand that third-party games are your bedrock, your foundation of your whole gaming console. But what is a third-party game without a platform? A goddamn idea. So if you would have realized that you had the power, you wouldn't let Activision and the likes of Take-Two make the decisions. They would be begging you to put their game on your console, because otherwise they got to go to PC, which is known for what? Pirating.
piracy.
Do you think Grand Theft Auto 5 would have sold 100 million copies if it was on PC only?
no,
It would have sold 5 copies.
I wouldn't think that. Nobody, I know you trying to be thing, but you're correct. It wasn't
That game moved 80 million copies basically on just the PS3 and Xbox 360 alone. Like, stop it. Like, y'all had the power. They need y'all to make money. So why were y'all letting them make the rules? I mean, they were paying for Activision's advertising for Call of Duty. Like, who does that? You need to put your game on my console. I got to pay for your advertising? And see, Nintendo didn't want to play that game. They knew not to. Nintendo even said, y'all keep chasing power. That's not going to work. They kept saying that. Nintendo's like, we're not playing that game. We're not going to play those rules. And it has bit them in the ass. Even the live services, it's bit them in the ass. Just because it worked 1 or 2 times doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone that comes out with one. We've had about 100 failed live services.
That is true, because everybody wants to duplicate
Fortnite. It's like, let it go. People like stop it. Y'all had the power to keep third parties, especially the big ones, on a leash, but y'all want to just get it any way you could. I'm thinking, I would look at the balance sheet. Okay, so we paid Activision $9 billion this year. We only made $10 billion. That's not enough. Like, we're doing all this and that's it. we have to renegotiate, or we're not going to get them anymore. They would have lost about a good 10, $15 billion in profit if they didn't put that game on one of those two consoles. And I'm surprised that no one ever thought that. But I give Phil Spencer credit for one thing. When that Xbox X launched, he said, we're not going to be like paying a foot in the bill like for these third-party games like that anymore. When he said that, they went right over to Sony, and all the people started buying Call of Duty on Sony again, whatever. But even Sony couldn't really afford that.
In the long
So my whole thing is like, Microsoft, you really could have been the second coming to Sega, but like Sega made but they were reactionary. Microsoft just kept doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got Doc and I think Liger's answer. Now the reason why I gave example of Tencent compared to Microsoft, but let's grant it that any of those paths that these third parties would have chosen, let's just say they would still get wiped out or lay off, more accurate term. But let's just say that Tencent would actually fight their way to actually to not have layoffs. But I'm willing to suspect it would have been worse with Tencent because,
They're Chinese.
Yes, and they would be using the games for nefarious reasons.
Well, like I said, I don't think it'll make any difference, but it's just weird. That's all I can tell you. It's just weird. Because they have, it's not like they don't have the people. It's not like they don't have the IPs that they could put together. They have all that stuff. But because of Phil Spencer and then want to go with this whole, like, we could play anywhere, do anything. Yeah, this is an Xbox, that's an Xbox, this is an Xbox, that's an Xbox. Alright. That commercial was stupid, in my opinion.
Did it remind you about the whole Xbox One thing about TV and all that?
Huh? Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. So, I don't, like I said, you literally had a, look, did I like the way Perfect Joanna Dark looked in the face? No. But I was like, okay, you're bringing a Perfect Dark, at least something different. Let me try that out, whatever. But they crap on that. And again, remember what I said back in my Wii U days when we used to do Ncast on the Wii U. What I said, the brothers for Rare, the people who own them, they said the dumbest thing they ever did was selling Rare to Microsoft. They should have stick with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another spy killed in action.
The only success Rare had under Microsoft was Killer Instinct, and they just gonna toss that aside.
Yep.
Aside from that, what was it? The anniversary update. Since then, what have they done?
That Shadow Fox is gonna be really sad.
You don't know me.
Right. There was something else I wanted to mention about Perfect Dark. Oh yeah. Speaking about that IP, it's sadly ironic that you got Rareware almost being flushed down the toilet, but then on the other side, gotta be Nintendo. We got the spiritual successor, Retro Studios, and then also not too long ago, thank you, Anderson, for Platonic Games, which they also had some layoff not too long ago. So I'm like, and we joke about this, but now I'm taking this serious. That these guys have some sort of Nintendo curse.
Maybe so.
Maybe, or maybe it's just the current times, inflation, and everything.
Hey, you know what Nintendo translates into? Leave luck to heaven.
Yep. Well, that's all I got. I mean, that's mostly what they were saying. Let me take a look at the chat first before we call it. But yeah, like I said, I don't see Freud on saying Brand Lordy at its finest. What up,
Yeah,
Maurice?
Maurice Charles.
Yep. I thought Sony did an amazing job with the PlayStation gaming relationship with the Japanese developers while offering cheaper distribution, operation, but a DVD and Blu-ray player. Okay. And monetize the Microsoft did well by monetizing architecture while utilizing the profits shared to create console powerful enough to play specific to third-party devs. I mean, yeah, and but here's the thing though. Like I said, I've it's an upcoming video that's coming up, and I said this in the video. We we do not have look. People, a lot of people want this PC thing, and this is not going against what you're saying, Maurice. I'm just saying because a lot of PC guys say this. Everybody wants everything. Everybody, all these PC guys want the console games on PC. Going like what Doc just said. Grand Theft Auto would have never sold as much on the PC alone. It would not. But when you and because PCs some okay, Thomas sold Trip, you know it. Thomas sold. Everything has
A trade off.
a trade off. Nothing's perfect. Everything has a trade off. These PC guys say, "Oh, it'll be better to get a PC and all that stuff." You will get a lot more indie games. Some good, some horrible. You will get a lot more indie games. But without a person who have a vision that could put it on a console, which is a closed architect, a closed, you know what I mean, like a closed console. You cannot push. You don't get that kind of thinking. Because again, look at Cyberpunk 2027. Everybody likes it now, but when it came out, that game was trash. It was
It
A
was
broken.
mess.
rushed. It was rushed.
It was a broken piece of garbage. They fixed it, and again, I have a problem when, like with Bethesda, I have a problem with. Oh, I'm gonna spend, let's say, $60 since everybody's so hung about the prices. I'm gonna spend $60 on a
Don't mention Fallout.
Game. I said Bethesda game. I ain't talking about.
76.
I'm gonna spend $60 on a Bethesda game that ain't working or boring or whatever, like Starfield and everything. For me, for 3 months later, for somebody to come to fix it and make it run better on PC. What? Why? How about I just like Mario Kart right here? How about I don't know, take a game, put it in my console, and it works. God forbid. What's
No,
the
no,
wrong with
no,
that?
no, 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 no. See, I want to have to download my game. It's like 200 gigabytes, and a game like Mario Kart will probably, if it was on PC and it was made by a PC company, would probably be, 40 terabytes. So I want to download it. Take about 3 days to do that, and then have a whole bunch of people make updates for it. But hey, at least I'm playing at 8K, 60 frames per second. And by the way, those updates, it takes them about a good year or two to come out.
That said, I'm not. PC has its faults and its goodness again, and you do not own the game, so it's like if it was the old school PC games. See, like I said, I respect the
You know,
original
when
OG PC guys and girls.
when those games are
On the
actually in
floppy
existence.
disk and the CDs.
That and also if there's gonna be online people who play WoW and Dota and all those games, those PC, no,
They,
Diablo, respect for them. No, no, not against them.
then they have to pay to play, and they did so without complaints.
But now, y'all want these, y'all want like, as Doctor said,
Everything for nothing.
Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy, all these games for that, and it's not working. And look at what's going on now. People are like, oh man, the PlayStation port is kind of bad. I'm like, well, yeah,
Buggy.
yeah, because it was set up for PlayStation, not for PC.
Right on the grass.
So it's just it. I'm sorry, y'all want. That's why I want Xbox around. I don't want it to falter, but it's basically gonna do a Oops, set a line, good. It's gonna do what do you call it? Xbox is gonna do what Google Stadia wanted to be. And here's the thing that kind of makes me feel like why y'all people don't understand this. Of course. Let that go. The one thing that kills me about that is like Apple, Google, they're worth trillions of dollars and they couldn't make it work. So the money ain't the only thing. You have to have good games. That's what it is. That's what y'all.
Oh, yeah, you did say have a vision before.
Yeah. But you have to have it.
A lot of people don't really got vision. They just kind of go with what everybody else is saying or doing. They don't really get independent thought.
Dang it.
Plus, with AI being what it is now, people are hoping to just, telling AI to do this, do that. Time I got a game, I'll tell it, I'll play it.
Yeah, he boosts behind me. Yeah, you're true. That's the thing. So, again, I understand that, but PC's not gonna be. It's not the end all be all. And one more thing I want to talk about before I call it, close it down. If Kenoshi, you need to go sleep, go sleep. Don't worry about it. We get you next time, my brother. But
Alright.
one thing I'll put down too, which is a PC thing, and now that Nintendo's using it, now people's like making little arguments against that too. I'm like, yo, you can't win for nothing. A lot of games, and I do mean a lot of games, are getting better because of the brute force of the Nintendo Switch 2 to the Nintendo Switch 1. The same way you had to play Arkham Knight and you had to brute force it to make it work, that's what's going on now.
Yeah, cause it's running through emulation, so I get to. It's not using it. Well, I mean, obviously it's using hardware, but it's using it's essentially the CPU is doing most of the work.
Yeah.
It's the GPU, it's just doing the rendering. You can't. Typically, when you run an emulator, you want to have a fairly powerful CPU.
Yep.
That's where the emulator's written to.
Well, all I'm saying, and I get that. I'm laughing at just how outrun that boomerang. I'm just surprised. I'm just saying that there's a lot of games, and I do mean a lot. Like I've seen enough channels from other people. There's a lot of games where the emulation is now brute force and working good. Not only Nintendo games, and I think about it like you said, Konoshi, the Nintendo games ones are patches, but the other
Nintendo games, what?
The Nintendo old games are patched in to be running better, to get 4K running better and all that stuff. All the other games, no, they're just running way better because of what it is.
Third-party games?
Third-party games. They're all third-party games. They're not Nintendo games.
Okay.
Apparently, when Modern Retro Gamer theorized that it was gonna be emulation.
Damn it.
Like people are mad about that for some reason. Like, why are you
It's
mad
their
about?
own IP. Sorry, Kadoshi, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, why are you mad about emulation? It's probably, that's not gonna be the most efficient way, but it will cut costs and happening to,
Yeah,
and not to mention that that's the reason the Switch 2 is able to
stay the
have a
same.
similar size too, because that's more
Exactly.
space.
Exactly.
So
You said it right there. The size, the size is the problem.
yeah,
But for some reason, of course, the size is the problem. But again, because again, the Switch Two is it is more heavier than the Switch One. Practically,
yeah,
that's what it is. But what you expect, it has this. But when you look at the side profile, like you just said, it's the same. It's the same thinness. So
yeah.
it is what it is. But that's what gamers always talk about like that, man. So it is what it is. We can't make everything it is.
The
Um,
crazy thing is like playing Breath of the Wild or
Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom in handheld mode. Like
Hmm.
even when you play the with the patches, the thing is still pretty quiet versus the original Switch, which you could hear the fan.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I said the game, Nintendo has patched to their games so it could be set up perfectly. Oh, crap! I missed my goal start in that. While all the other games that runs better, that runs better because of the power, is because of that. They ain't doing it. They ain't doing it to run better, cooler, whatever. It's just using because they have more RAM, more CPU power, more everything. That's all it is. So
Yeah,
it is what it
yeah,
is. We'll see how they're talking about that. But like I said,
Go ostrich.
gaming is what it is. So we'll go from that. So with that said, I'm gonna like I said, thank you guys for joining us. I'm gonna let everybody get some sleep. It's 10 o'clock in the night, so I'll let y'all get your rest. Remember, there is no perfect games out there, guys. Remember, what's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy games on all consoles, including PC, and hopefully we'll try our best to. I ain't gonna say next week because I got stuff I gotta do, but again, I'm gonna try to start getting back 8 o'clock Ncast stuff. So because now it's half and half. We got a new console. We do have stuff to talk about now compared to just a while ago. We didn't really have nothing, and then we got new games to talk about as well too. So
yeah.
that's that's what we're gonna do. So catch y'all next time, and have y'all have a good night.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Exactly.
Good night.
I couldn't pass it up.
I got you. I gotta sign out first. There we go.